Yearly releases. First one going out on February 23rd. The following quarterly releases will be on May 11th, August 3rd, and November 2nd. As always, no downtime is expected. They will be rolling deploys, and release notes, full release notes will be posted to the Knowledge Center for your perusal. As a reminder, or if you have not seen the emails that went out about this, we have reserved a monthly server maintenance window for the third Sunday of each month. This is to do just regular server maintenance per the vendors that supply our own software that support 360 and Intota. The third Sunday of each month, it's mostly overnight for most of the community. Is the time with the least traffic we found. Please sign up at the Ex Libris status page for alerts, and you should get one about 5 days in advance of that downtime. And it may be the case that there is no service interruption. It completely depends on what we are given for updates by our software vendors. But do check out the Ex Libris status page for that information. So what we're looking forward to in 2022 for searching and linking are a couple of definite new features and some more that are to be determined. The first is the eJournal portal, the ability to filter autocomplete suggestions, and also some new refinements for index enhanced direct linking in 360 Link. And as Brent noted, the NERS prioritization has not been finalized, but certainly will have a part in some of those features that he mentioned. But also, this year is the first year that 360 and Intota have their own categories within the Summon Ideas Exchange. So thanks to everyone who submitted ideas and voted on them. I hope to get some more momentum behind that as the year moves on and get a real sense of what's important to everyone. So the first feature that I'm going to describe is the filter autocomplete suggestions within the eJournal portal. This is going to actually deploy at the end of the month with the Q1 release. Currently, as you know, when you begin typing a search, suggestions are made by the system. However, those suggestions are pulled from the entire universe of KB titles with no sense of what might be relevant to your collection or applicable to your collection. So what's going to happen after the Q1 deploy is that those search suggestions will be filtered to subscribed titles within your library profile. So only the things that you license, own, or provide access to. This should eliminate any zero result searches and hopefully lower user frustration at getting a zero result search response and some frustration. Going out, this is something that requires processing that can't be done in real time. So going out with this release, we've had to architect a new solar index that kind of pre-calculates what's available in the library profile in order to offer these suggestions. And that is going to happen once per week. So if you subscribe to a new title or if you unsubscribe from a title, you won't necessarily see an immediate change to the autocomplete suggestion. You're going to see that after the weekly index. And we'll see how that works going forward. It may be the case that we need to do that re-indexing more frequently, but for now, we're going to see how this works out. And again, this is coming out in the Q1 release at the end of the month. For quarter two, we are doing some further refining to the Index Enhanced Direct Linking API. Obviously, this is in support of creating more accurate links to content that users want and quickly connecting them to that content. We have to do this every so often simply because the nature of the linking changes. So for example, document identifiers can change, what content that was at one time known as, by a certain identifier may not be on the native platform with that identifier. Or the API or the linking syntax that we need to be able to get to a provider may change over time. Perhaps a parameter is deprecated or one is added. It's just kind of a natural progression and unfortunately an expected one due to the nature of linking. One thing I will say though is that we appreciate all the reports that you provide us. It does a couple of things. First, it lets us see patterns. So we can detect if a certain provider if we're seeing the same thing happen over and over, and maybe it's something our outreach group needs to talk to them about, or we need to get in touch, the R&D team needs to get in touch with them about, or if it's just a one-off. But it allows us to approach this in a more holistic way and address a broader set of issues at once. So as frustrating as broken links can be, we certainly understand that. Your continued communication about them really lets us address them in a operational way. And again, this is going to be coming out with the Q2 release. Some of the workflow refinements we're looking forward to delivering this year include displaying the MARC record availability at a database level, integrating the NISO recommended practices for automation, for KBART automation, and allowing upload of database order from an Excel compatible file. So displaying the MARC record availability is actually a NERS request that when we looked at it, and even before prioritization happened by the groups, my team was like, hey, you know what? We've got this information already. Exposing it is going to be pretty simple, and we've got people available right now who can do it. So happily, this is something that we're going to be able to deliver in Q2 even before prioritization is finalized. And what you see here is actually a screenshot from one of our environments where the code has been deployed to. And similar to summon coverage, you can see this MARC coverage. And this gives you a sense of how many titles within the database, or what percentage of titles in the database actually have a MARC record behind it, whether it's a CONSER or an LC record. This gives a sense of, or it is an indication of how many of the titles within that database are actually normalized within our KB. So you can see this at a glance, and it will also display on the database details page. So this, as I said, this was a kind of a serendipitous enhancement that we are able to really easily plug in, and you'll be able to view this in Q2. So in terms of integrating NISO recommended practices for KBART automation, the ultimate goal here is to expand auto holding support beyond eBook Central. When we delivered auto holding support with eBook Central way back when in 2014, this is before the recommended practices came out, right? Because the recommended practices was 2019. And it works great. It's a real time-saving tool, as I'm sure everyone who uses it can attest to. Unfortunately, our API is proprietary. It is not standards-based, and that is where we've kind of run into hiccups when working with providers, because they really want to keep to the standards. They want to reuse the code and the APIs that they're already using with products such as SFX and ALMA. So throughout the year, we're going to be working at integrating support for KBART and the recommended practices, and then being able to do the outreach and the testing and the operationalization, ooh, that's a long one, of actually getting the auto holdings communications going back and forth. So that's really it's really a long-term project and will span throughout the year, but it ultimately will be able to deliver auto holdings exchange with providers like Elsevier and Springer. Last but not least, one of the sure things that we're going to be able to deliver is kind of an evergreen enhancement request for the ability to upload a database order list or database prioritization list for 360 Link. On the left, you can see the current kind of state of affairs within the admin console. If you want to prioritize the databases, it's a drag and drop paradigm. And it can be a little unwieldy when we're talking about thousands of databases. A lot of folks have said, you know what, just let me download the list, I'll put it in the order I want, and then I'll upload it. So that's what we're going to be able to deliver in the second half of 2022, just as a way to streamline your work and make, alleviate some of the headache of the drag and drop paradigm within the admin console. In addition to kind of tackling KBART automation throughout the year, we've got a couple of major infrastructure projects going on. The first is that we are going to be migrating the Intota assessment platform to the Oracle, excuse me, Oracle Analytics Server, the OAS platform. Oops. This is a advanced, sorry, I need to do that. The OAS platform is a little more advanced than what is currently available, includes things such as data visualization techniques and additional features for doing analytics. And this is going to apply to everyone. This isn't just folks with 360 Counter, et cetera. This is for everyone who gets their usage statistics on Intota assessments. More information, training will be available as we near the delivery date of this, and that it's looking like mid-year right now. I don't want to promise H1, but certainly within early H2, this migration will be complete. The second migration project we've got going on is migrating the entire 360 and Intota suite, all applications, both external and internal, to new database software. And this is just in keeping with our commitment to, security and safeguarding and up-to-date software within our data center, safeguarding your data, your privacy, et cetera. That is going to be happening also mid-year, and additional information will be available as we near that date. We'll be sure to keep everyone updated with that migration information. So that is what I want to share with you today.
Upcoming webinars that we have and review. Thanks everyone for taking time to attend today. As hopefully I've highlighted throughout the presentation, our products, Summon, 360, and Intota are all successful because of you and your input. So thank you for taking the time today to attend and learn a little bit about what we have planned. And thank you for all of your contributions. If you think of something or have additional questions that I wasn't able to answer today, you can always reach me at Brent Cook, brent.cook@xclarivate.com, and Amy at amy.pemble@clarivate.com. If it's a support issue, you're always best off going through that support portal because they'll be able to track it and get your resolution quickly. Sometimes I know our inboxes can get a little bit full, and they're designed to respond to those quickly. And at the same time, I'm always happy to help. I'm always happy to answer questions, so feel free to reach out to me, and we really appreciate your time. Amy?
Yeah, for everyone who submitted ideas to the Idea Exchange, my team and I are really excited to be able to participate in that system. It gave us some great ideas. It gives us a sense of what the community is after. So please continue to do that, and we can all, continue to make 360 and Intota services great.